This city lives thanks to the Alabama Crimson Tide. This is anything but a run-of-the-mill early season matchup, a clash of top 10 teams as these two will get their oil checked early. As we'll see the number 2 team in the country, the Texas Longhorns, taking on the 6th-ranked team in the land, the Alabama Crimson Tide. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. And guys, let's get this thing started. The Longhorns will put toe to leather and we'll get started. He'll start the return inside his 5. And good work by the coverage team to knock down the return man. First down here for the offense. He's brought down, but there's a flag on the field. Let's see what the call is. Just an obvious holding call there, and one that just kills an offense's momentum. Bunch formation, trying to spring a guy free. Quarterback checking off. Toss sweep to the right. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
How about the defender being a heat-seeking missile? He was on radar lock. He found the football and flew down with some bad intentions.
Hoping to find one that works this time on 2nd down from the 7. Goes to the option. Knocked down for the tackle.
Dude, when you got a guy like this that can just hit the gas and go pick up 15-plus yards, what a luxury. How nice is it to have a quarterback like that when I'm a tailback, when I can send the tailback one direction, quarterback the other direction. This guy's just got so much speed.
And I think on that last run play on 3rd down here early in the game, they're making a statement that we believe we're the more physical team and we're going to run the football even if you know it's coming at you. Nice job. They've got the ball at midfield. I expect to see more run plays coming up.
Wide receiver now comes in motion. Quick pass on the fly motion. He's brought down, but he went backwards after that completion, not the way they had it drawn up.
I like offenses being creative. I'm not sure if that was the best place to call that play. I think this offense needs to think about just doing things a little bit more by the book. They've got a lot of good playmakers. You don't have to reinvent the wheel this early in the game.
They'll run the option. Now the pitch. Still running at the 40. He stepped out of bounds after a huge play, but hang on just a second. Defense might get bailed out here by a flag. And here comes the offense on 2nd down. The option look. At the 35, he's open. get him down.
Man, that dude just hits the gas and just goes. How nice is it as an offensive coordinator to have a quarterback that you can run just like a tailback? And you got a tailback in the backfield with him all the time, and he can throw so many options, but you just see the speed when he hits the gas, and it is really nice.
Just nowhere to go against this defense to find that single yard he needed on third down.
Really nice job by the defense there, expecting run on that play, making the tackle, and now giving yourself a chance to get off the field.
And the offense with no intention to draw the defense off sides. They want to run on fourth down. He'll ride his man on the option. They stop him short of the marker, and they'll turn it over on downs.
And this offense chooses to be aggressive. Listen, once you start getting to midfield, you see most offenses be aggressive, and they took their chance, and they failed. Now, early in the game, a chance to create momentum to swing back to the other side of the football field.
This crowd going to try to make life miserable for these guys. The run to the left. Pirouettes away from the defense. Just slithered through the tackle when he's got room to run. Touchdown, Longhorns! And once he found some daylight, it was time to make a house call.
And how about that start for this offense? First play of the game. You talk about setting the tone, starting fast. That is the exact thing they just did. One play, one score. Nice start for this offense.
Almost ready to kick it away after scoring the touchdown. From inside his own 10, he'll try to help out their field position. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. The Tide offense rolls onto the field. They were really aggressive going for it in their own end last time. It put them in a tough spot, David.
Yeah, aggressive, reckless. They got to find the balance with this offense to really be productive. And last possession they went for it, they rolled the dice, Palmer, and it didn't work out for them.
Yeah, if you're better on third down moving forward, though, you can keep yourself out of those situations.
Lost 5 on that first play, and now it's 2nd and 15. Quarterback changing the plays at the line. On second down, looking again to throw. That pass is incomplete, and they're probably fortunate that it wasn't knocked free for a fumble.
It doesn't take this defense a lot of time to get to the quarterback, man. They've got speed all over the place. They hit him so quickly, and because of that, the ball falls incomplete.
This defense has kept them backed up. Now one more stop, and they can get off the field on 3rd and long. Looking to throw, and he needs a bunch. Feeling some heat. And the pressure gets him back at the 8-yard line.
And 3rd and long, and the offense goes with a little play action. I don't know why the threat of the run. I'm not scared by that. You can tell the defense doesn't honor it, doesn't buy it. Flies by the line, gets to the quarterback, gets the big 3rd down stop.
And the coverage team able to make the tackle. The Longhorns sending the offense back onto the field. And David, how they would love to stick it in the end zone one more time after that last drive.
And once you get the defense on their heels and you back them off a little bit, you get in a little bit of rhythm, it's really hard to stop, Jesse, and they're going to try to do it again right here.
And if you're this play caller, you're loving what's happening right now because everything you dialed up on that last drive
receiver shows motion. Quarterback touch pass on the jet sweep. Nice, solid form tackle from this sophomore.
Well, and on these little push passes, timing is so important. You're trying to snap it right as he's getting a full head of steam. When he gets the ball, he's hitting the outside, and David, it puts the defense in such a difficult spot.
You immediately have to be rotating when you see that motion, so everybody's got to communicate and kind of bump over. That's why offenses love to run it. It makes the defense communicate and see if you can just get him out of a spot.
Quick pass to the left, trying to get it to the marker. Finds a crease at the 20. And he takes it all the way. They couldn't stop him. Touchdown, Texas!
And how about this offense? Man, they must have used fall camp perfectly. Coming out firing on all cylinders, smooth, in a rhythm. Great start to the year by this offense.
And he did make that extra point, no issue with the treacherous footing. He'll bring it back from inside the 15. Needed just a little more help to turn that into a big return. They'll mark him down at the 29. Understatement, and they really need to get it going here, Jesse.
That's right. The opponent, they're firing on all cylinders right out of the gate. Offensively, for this unit, they've been slow and struggling. They need an explosive play to wake themselves up.
Yeah, and it's just the first quarter, so it's not the end of the world. You've seen slow starts, but you got to continue to pick and pick and pick until you find that play or that scheme that you can use against this defense.
They give it to him again. Fights off a defender. Defense not budging. He's still able to get 2 to the 29.
And a nice second effort by the back to break a tackle. But how about those defensive backs willing to come up, stick their face in the fan, and make a tackle?
Those are the best run defenses, too, right? It's not just D linemen and linebackers getting all the plays, but it's DBs that are willing to not just cover, but tackle.
He lets it fly. And he hauls it in inside the 30. First down to start the drive after the break. That play just never had a chance. They knock him down for a loss of 5.
They're trying to run the ball on first down, guys, but just nothing doing up front. Their offensive line got blown up on that play. There was nowhere for that guy to go.
They'll try to overcome that last play on 2nd and 15. Quarterback reacting to what the D is showing. On 2nd down, wants to throw it. And the incomplete pass had a lot of juice on it. Sometimes a quarterback just needs to turn the ball loose. It was like he tried to guide that one in, and it disrupted the timing.
And just like in basketball, when you shoot a shot.
And the quarterback runs out of time, and down he goes at the 38.
In that 3rd and long situation, you'd like to see your quarterback have a plan. You know that they may dial up the blitz, so you've got to know where your answers are. Where's your hot route? Where's your sight adjust? Where can you get rid of the football if they bring an extra guy and the offense didn't look like they were ready for it?
Man, they can barely see the first down marker from there, but they'll go for it on 4th. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. It's incomplete. A 4th down stop and the turnover on downs.
And they decide to go for it. They decide to be aggressive, try to throw the football down the field. Receiver, quarterback not on the same page. No dice, turnover on downs.
The offense will have to use its first timeout of the half. Line gets set, first down. On the option. He'll pitch it. Turns it on in midfield. He has 60 yards rushing already here in the first half. It's a season opener, but he's in midseason form. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Corners showing press. They want to be physical here. And the defense will corral the quarterback, and down he goes at midfield. The Longhorns racing to the line in the hurry-up.
Well, obviously, at this point in the first half, the defense is finding themselves in a hole. You just get the feeling if they're going to get back in this, they're going to need more plays like that. They're going to need sacks. They're going to need turnovers. They're going to have to create negative plays to get themselves some momentum.
And that deep shot's going to wind up incomplete, but we do have a flag on the field. Let's see what the official says. So the penalty will not be enforced. The defense declines and stands on the result of the play. Better find the earplugs. Here comes the noise, backing this defense on third down. Looking to throw, and he needs a chunk play. That pass is well off target. He got hit as he was trying to throw, and they can't convert on third down.
And that's a play on third down. This offense just has to do a better job protecting their quarterback. Give them a split second more time to complete that throw, but they couldn't do it there.
So the offense will go for it around midfield. Timeout called by the defense. It's their first of the half as they'll make some adjustments. Fourth down, and they've got to get it to the next time zone, but the offense is going to stay on the field on fourth down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. And they gambled in their own end, turn it over on downs, and now the other offense is set up.
Love the coverage on defense there. Fourth down, they were ready for the pass. And you saw in the back end, great job being in position to make that play. And now their offense is coming on the field.
The Tide offense rolls onto the field. That last drive was promising at times, but stalled out, and they turned it over on. He's loose down the left side. He's at the 10. Touchdown, Crimson Tide. And once he found open space, the band might as well start playing.
Man, I am a great play caller when I can hand it to guys like that. And he can go that far to the house, create big plays, showed you a little bit of vision, showed you a little bit of burners. When he kicked it in gear, he got the long touchdown.
About to kick it off after punching it in for the touchdown. He'll call for the fair catch here. down gamble didn't pay off on the last drive, and it led to giving up a scoring drive, David.
Yeah, and everybody wants to go for it on fourth down. Everybody wants that, but your defense sometimes has to bail out your decision-making. We decided to go for it. We didn't get it. The defense, Jesse, didn't come up big and prove me right.
Yeah, not complimentary football, no doubt. But look, this offense has been in these situations before. So you got to come back out here, take the field. It's a fresh set of downs, brand new drive. Let's go out and execute, put some points on the board.
He's now up to 77 yards rushing, and that is quite an impressive first half here in this season opener. He's looking to throw it. That's reeled in. It's Johnson. And just a short, safe pass play. They pick up a few. And the Longhorns want to move quickly. Now, a couple of times historically that the SEC has reached into the Big 12 during an expansion era, and the Big 12 would love to land a blow on the field here in this one.
Yeah, I think there probably is some.
Gonna let it fly. And it slips through his fingers, incomplete. That would have been a huge gain if he could have squeezed it.
Well, the offense trying to hit the dagger route. You see the receiver, he went down the field, stretched it, made it look like it was going to be a go, put his foot in the ground, trying to cut to the inside. They're just not able to be on the same page there.
Touch pass on the run. Went to the running game on third down and picked up 5, but still a couple of yards short. It's 4th and 2.
And these little touch passes, man, they're just the easiest completions ever for quarterbacks. Palmer, I bet you would have loved being able to just flip it forward. That counts as to your completion percentage, which is good. And then it's all run after the catch, so pretty easy for a QB.
You wouldn't have been the only All-American in this booth, David, if I were allowed to have push passes when I was playing quarterback. I'll tell you that. It is so hard to defend. It's so hard to seal that edge, especially when this guy's full speed ahead coming around the outside.
Finally pulled down, but not before moving the chains for a first down. Man, you want to talk about confidence in your running game on 4th down to keep it on the ground from that distance and pick up the first down.
That's one of those things in practice, coaches probably like, anybody, any place, anytime, anywhere, this is who we are, we're physical, and they showed it.
And the incompletion brings up a 2nd down for this offense. Quick pass on the jet motion. Gets it all the way down to the 39-yard line. It'll be a first down.
I love that play call, and I love the timing of the pre-snap motion. Because the quarterback was able to get it to the receiver right behind the offensive line, because of the timing, he was able to outflank the defense. That puts him out in space where he's able to use his speed.
And he breaks into the open. And he just kept running, and he ran away from the crowd, and he'll take it in. Touchdown, Longhorns!
I think you love starting the year off with some momentum, and that's exactly what this offense is doing. They're firing on all cylinders, defense doing their job as well. This team getting out the gates to start the season in great fashion.
And the ball will make it into the end zone. No return on that one for a touchback. Here comes that Alabama offense. Now we'll get a chance to see if they can answer that last score, trailing by 14, Jesse.
Yeah, and at this point in the game, I feel like offensively, you should go back to what's been working for you in this game. Don't be afraid to dial up plays that you've already had success with, running it and throwing it. It's okay to repeat plays down 14 at this point.
And I would also say, Palmer, kind of understanding that my defense is not playing great, so I know offensively I got to put some good possessions together here, make something happen on this side of the football.
Can't quite make the connection there. Might have led him a little too much.
Yeah, and I don't know what happened. He didn't look open as it is, and the QB's trying to make a play, trying to force the ball, but at least he threw it where his guy could catch it or nobody could catch it.
on 3rd and long. Try to convert through the air. And the ball is caught. He's inside the 35. We've made our way to the 2-minute warning, and now they'll try to at least cut a little something off of this lead before the break. The Crimson Tide comes to the line with the 1st and 10. They'll go to the ground. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
Well, they say you live by the blitz, you die by the blitz. That time, David, the defense dialed it up at the perfect time, and what a tackle.
Great tackle. I'm surprised, honestly, he held on to the football. That is what you want. You want physical knockbacks. When you're on defense, you watch the tape, the coach is like, is the running back falling forward? If he's falling forward, we're not doing our job. There was no falling forward on that one.
This defense happy with how that last play turned out, so they'll decline the penalty. Here on 3rd down for this offense. He's looking downfield to throw. That pass not close as he got drilled trying to deliver it, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Tell you what, I don't know if the offense was expecting man coverage that time. 3rd and long in field goal range, you're expecting it to be zone. Instead, they lock them up man-to-man, everybody on an island, and everybody won. They get the incompletion, now setting up 4th.
Timeout is called, and it's the defense wanting to make sure that everyone's on the same page for this big down. Well, they haven't been able to get it done on 4th down so far today. They've missed on their first 2 attempts. Is the 3rd time the charm? He'll try to throw and pick up the 1st down. They got him. It's a sack, and what a stop for this defense to turn it over on downs.
And I tell you what, you see this a lot. 4th down, I'm putting pressure on the quarterback. The defense brings the blitz. They have no answer. Nice job being aggressive on a big 4th down.
They'll throw it on 1st down. They're working that left side. Got room at the 35. He'll work his way down to the 28.
And as a defense, how scary is it having to defend this guy? He's one of the fastest players in America, and you saw it on that last play. It's not necessarily throwing him the ball over your head.
Going for it all. He snares it in the end zone. Touchdown, Texas!
And a really nice job understanding I got to get to that gap where there's a little bit of open space in the middle of the field when I run that post route. QB lays it out for him, and he catches it, gets 2 feet in bounds, in the end zone, touchdown.
And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The Tide offense rolls onto the field. These guys have taken some body blows in the first half, but now a chance to do something to feel a little better going into halftime.
Reese, they got to respond now. They got to put points on the board right here, cut into this deficit, create a little bit of momentum, because this one's going to get out of hand otherwise.
Yeah, there are a lot of offenses out there that might just say, okay, let's just regroup and figure it out. This offense doesn't have time to do that. They've got to be aggressive.
Fires one high and deep. Oh, and it's a pick. He threw it right into the double coverage. And they'll close in on him after a good return on the interception.
Man, these defenders practice this all week long. It's locating the football with your eyes. Great job being in position, but also, how about getting your head around and locating the ball in the air so you can go up, pick it off for the defense. He's going to pass. And that pressure
pressure just engulfed him. A sack for this defense.
You want to change some of this bad luck you've had so far around? Get after the quarterback and get his butt on the ground. Nice job by the defense. This game ain't over. It's still the first half. This is a good start.
Wants to throw on second down. That pass is incomplete, and they might be fortunate it wasn't knocked free for a fumble. It'll be third down. I'm not positive, but that first down marker might be in the next county. The DBs will back off a bit. On third and long, no secret what he needs here. That's caught. It's Johnson. The offense calls timeout, and they won't have any more left this half.
You got to love that. On defense, one of the most critical statistics out there is how do you play on third down? How do you prevent the opponent from keeping drives alive? Right there, tackling the catch. You gave up the completion. Whoop-de-doo. You set up fourth and long. You're going to get the ball back. Go get some water and celebrate.
Throws to the wideout. Makes a grab enough for the first. Major gaps in that defense, and he got loose, and they finally knock him down at the 41. To the air on first down. The pass falls incomplete, and there are 8 seconds left.
I don't know if the quarterback read the coverage properly on that one, but obviously the result is an incompletion.
DBs will try to keep everything in front. Right back to the air on second and 10. Pulls it in. He will step out of bounds, but not before the big pickup and a first down for this offense. Just enough time to get off one final play of the half. Looking to go up top on first down. Fires deep toward the end zone. Pass is incomplete, and that's going to do it for the first half. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin in our halftime update. They want to get the ball back right now, lining up for an onside kick to start the second half. They're on it. They recover the onside kick, and they get it right back. Here comes that Alabama offense. They start this third quarter in a big hole, and they have to start climbing out right now.
And they're going to have to be really aggressive, Reese. Like this offense, when I'm playing from behind, every possession means so much more. And if you look the other side, the defense, they haven't given much resistance.
Yeah, nothing has gone their way in the first half offensively. And you know now, based on how this defense is playing with their confidence, that you are going to be challenged on every single snap. So buckle up, get your mind right, and get ready to come back in this game.
And back to the air on second down. He's right on target. Stop is made at the 44, but it's a 15-yard gain and a first down.
It's a really nice-looking throw. This dude is a weapon in this offense at the quarterback position. It's so funny. You know, I think back to guys like Greg McElroy and A.J. McCarron, guys that may or may not have unfairly been tabbed as game managers. And then you think of Jalen Hurts, Tua, and Bryce Young in recent years, and just how dynamic and versatile these guys were at the position and how they've really helped take this offense to the next level. Watching this guy reminds me a little bit of that.
The offense set for a first down play. They're testing the right side here. At the 35, he's got room. And they'll finally bring him down after he rips off a huge play. Alabama quickly back to the line. They'll give it to him again. He's drop behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of 3.
You know, defensively, you live by the blitz and you die by the blitz. That time, they dialed it up into the run play, and the linebacker able to make a nice tackle.
Last play was a near disaster. Now dealing with 2nd and 13. On the option. Made a little something out of that run. He picked up a couple down to the 14. Really need to pick up this conversion and avoid having to settle for the field goal. On the option. He'll do it himself. Quick toss. And he's loose, and he'll take it to the house. Touchdown time!
And the offense doing a nice job mixing the option play on that drive. They're able to get the defense outflanked. Nice decision by the QB, pitching it outside wide, and the running back using his speed.
Now a 2-point conversion attempt coming up. They'll go with a direct snap. He's not quite going to get there, and the try for 2 fails, and they are unable to cut into this lead any further. About to kick it away after scoring the touchdown. And he takes this from inside the 5. And they'll haul down the returner to start us on the next drive. And here comes the Texas offense back on the field. Going up top on 1st down. Fires to the wideout. A strike downfield. He's off to the races. And they'll do more than move the chains. They'll move that thing more than 30 yards down the field before he's finally stopped. Burnt Orange burning some secondaries, working this guy down the field.
Making those big plays down the field. Texas, when you think about great teams, you think about explosive playmakers, making those big plays, keeping those defenses on their heels.
And I love the awareness by the wide receiver on that play, because I'm not sure that route was supposed to be that deep. You got to wonder if the receiver decided maybe to adjust the route a little bit to make sure that he got the 1st down.
Now the crowd responding in the red zone, trying to help this defense. Looking to move it through the air. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Longhorns! And the beatdown has ensued. This dude is lighting it up for the Horns, and some old-school Horn fans starting to think about that 500-yard 4-touchdown day Vince Young had against Oklahoma State.
Bringing back great memories, and there's been some good runs at quarterback. You think about Colt McCoy, too, man. He put up some serious numbers, some serious wins. Can this be the next guy to catapult this offense, to bring Texas back to prominence?
The Tide offense rolls onto the field. There's certainly still a hill to climb, but they've got to make sure these drives pay off. Got a touchdown last time. Can they back it up here?
Well, and it's amazing in a football game how sometimes they'll surprise you with what you do. Once you get settled and you realize what's going on, now I'm comfortable with it. Jesse, this offense looked comfortable in its last drive.
They sure did. It looked like they started to find some momentum. So now it's on this defense to stop that, all right? You're a little bit upset based on what just happened the previous drive. You've got to bow up again and go back to what was working earlier in this game.
Didn't get much done on that first play of the drive. It's 2nd and 11. Here comes the option. He'll toss it. And the 4th option there is to throw it in reverse, and that's what happened on that one.
They're trying to run the football. There's just nowhere to go for the ball carrier inside. He tried to bounce it to the outside. That linebacker way too fast. He met him there and forced the TFL.
Guys, this offense is already reeling down multiple possessions. Really need to cash in on this drive. On 3rd and long, hoping to throw beyond the sticks. He took a hit as he threw it and downs coming.
And the defense at this point understands that the offense is going to have to try to throw the football, all right? They already got a lead, so they're now pinning their ears back and getting after this guy, trying to get him to the ground.
On fourth down, they'll pass for it. And the incomplete pass, they roll the dice. Snake eyes.
And I get it. At this point in the second half, dude, we got to make something happen. We haven't been good enough. We got to score a lot of points and quickly. You got to be aggressive. They tried. They failed again. This game is all but over.
He's brought down, but he's got him inside the 10. First and goal from the 8.
There's really no secret to it, David. When this guy's running well, this offense is so hard to stop.
It opens up everything, and he's having a great day, showing you a little bit of everything, and this offense has got it rolling on the ground.
And the Heat will get home, and the quarterback goes down at the 17. Defense rolls up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a second and long coming. He's looking to throw. Scrambling away. Got it! And he won't be able to push his way in. He stopped at the 1. And the Longhorns come to the line in the hurry-up. Power ahead. He had nowhere to go, no place to hide, and they'll knock him down for a loss of 9. Here's the snap, looking to throw. Incomplete, the defense holds.
Great coverage on that fourth down play. Nice job blanking the receiver out wide. The defense, you could tell, they knew they were going for it. They had a game plan. They get the big stop and turn it over to their offense.
Here comes that Alabama offense. We'll see if that failed fourth down in their own end last time, David, sort of curbed some of the aggressiveness.
Well, you hear about it all the time in football. Go for it. Be aggressive. The problem is when you get stopped, sometimes it puts you in a hole. And Jesse, now the offense has to come out and respond.
They were real disappointed not getting that first down. You can see it on the sideline, so let's just see if that's kind of galvanized them a little bit here to go make a statement and get some points.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on second down. They'll run the option. Just finds that little crevice, and he's still up. Kept it, and he's past the marker. And he put his foot in the ground and turned it upfield and turned it into a big play. Great decision to keep it. One big play, and you go from a little backed up to threatening. It's first and 10 from the 40. Now on the option. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one. Lost 1 on that last one. It's second and 11. Goes to the option. The pitch. On the move at the 30. A tremendous run. He was full bore after taking that pitch. Just sweet execution. They ripped off a huge chunk, and now a little chunk is needed to pay it off. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. Defense rolls up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a second and long coming. They'll run the option. He'll toss it. Gets it into the end zone, but wait a minute. We'll have to check out the laundry on the field. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. They'd love to start this quarter off with a touchdown right here. They weren't able to get that one off. It'll be a delay of game. The offense couldn't get the snap off in time, and it'll cost them. Can the defense stop them again on 2nd and goal? The option look. Now the pitch. They bring him down, but a solid pickup to put them in position to pick up a first down.
Defensively, man, I play so much more man coverage when it gets down near the red zone, down inside the 20-yard line, this area of the field. I got less space to cover. I don't have to worry about them running way down the field really deep, but I do have to worry about them finding ways to get wide receivers, tight ends, speed the ball on the perimeter. Defense was ready for it. Pretty good job by the defense.
And they'll come to the line trying to take a slice out of this lead on 3rd and goal. He'll ride his man on the option. Now the toss. And he waltzes in for the score. Touchdown, Bama!
Wow, this offense, they have a lot of faith in this running back. Knowing if they get down in this area of the field, he can get it done and he can answer the bell. 2 rushing touchdowns already for this offense.
Getting aggressive here and going for 2. On the option. He'll pull it on the read. He's not going to make it in, and the decision to go for 2 does not work out. If they're going to pull off this big rally, they'll need to get this one back. They line up for the onside kick. They were ready for the onside kick and executed perfectly, and they secure the football. So Texas has it again, and here comes the offense. These last couple of drives, Jesse, have been about the defense making clutch stand.
I think for this offense, they can stay aggressive knowing that their defense is going to bail them out time and time again here.
Yeah, and especially when you go for those 4th down situations, you do that a lot of times because you know your defense can make stands, make stops. They did on that last possession for them.
On 2nd down, he'll try to make the connection this time. And the pass is incomplete thanks to a big hit.
Not many receivers like to get hit. They just don't, okay? They're prima donnas. That's what they are. That's who they are. Nice job by the defender. You could tell he was catching the football. He was going to put a hit on him to make sure he had to think about something later, and you could see the ball pop out and fall to the ground.
Picks up the first down, still moving. Got a lot of room to the right. Touchdown, Texas! And the route is on. Texas fighting them through the air and on the ground, reminiscent of Colt McCoy's big day against A&M in 2009.
Yeah, just doing whatever they want. And this is a good spot to be. Listen, Texas gets a highly recruited kid at quarterback every single year. Can this be the guy that takes them to the next level? Today is a good day.
The officials offer the deal, and the coach accepts it. They will take the penalty. How about this? These guys are going for 2. Looking to throw. They're bringing heat. Just missed his man, gave him just a little too much. Lining up to cover the kick after that touchdown drive. No shot at a return. It's out of the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. The Tide offense rolls onto the field. How about that blocking up front in that running game last time as they just walked it down for a touchdown, David.
And the big boys up front doing their job. Opening holes, the backs making plays, everything on the ground on that first drive.
This is the identity this coaching staff wants for this team, right? They want to be the most physical team on the field. Let's see if they can keep it up.
After the incompletion, it's 2nd and 10 from their own 25. On the option, he'll keep it himself. They could have used a little bit more there. Picked up a 3. It's 3rd and 7. Alabama pushing the tempo. On the option. Quarterback on the keeper. Oh, and he can't hold the pitch, and the ball's loose. Touchdown, Longhorns! The defense takes matters into their own hands. Why not double the try total and go for 2? Quarterback, quick pass to the receiver. And he is going to lose yardage. Nowhere to run as he is forced out of bounds. Almost ready to kick it away after scoring the touchdown. That ball scoots through the back of the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. Here comes that Alabama offense. Wants to throw on 1st down. Working that left side now. At the 45 on his way. Racing down the left side. 10. Touchdown, Alabama! And once he found open space, the band might as well start playing.
Nice pitch, nice catch. And listen, maybe this helps next game, right? Like we're trying to find a rhythm, find something that works, find somebody to go to. And this offense is struggling. You're down by 1,000, but I like that they continue to fight.
Back to pass, it's Casey. He's into the end zone for the 2-point conversion, and they shave a couple more off of this lead. That kind of drive will boost your confidence. One play, hit the big pass, put a touchdown on the board. The deficit is huge. This one is all but over, but they'll keep trying and line up for the onside kick. He's able to grab the football, and the hands team gets the job done. So now the Longhorns take over, and they'll send out the offense. Pulls and throws off the RPO. Crosses the 30. He's got away. Touchdown, Texas! And the stomping has commenced.
There's no mercy rule in college football, man. They've got a huge lead here in the 4th quarter. They are still chucking it, and they are still scoring.
And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
A bit of an under-the-radar game this week, guys, but take a look at this. Oregon State is running away with this one, thanks to an offense that hasn't been stopped since that group stepped off the bus. They're up by 35 over the Coyotes. We'll circle back. If anything big happens, you should know about it.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. The Tide offense rolls onto the field. They torched this defense with an explosive passing play for a score last time out. Let's see if they go right back at him. Trying to find his man on 1st down. Hit as he throws. Can't find his man as he took a shot trying to deliver that football, and it'll be 2nd down. Couldn't make the connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. looking for a man. It's Casey. And that's not the way they drew it up. It's incomplete.
Well, the defense really stepped up in this game. They knew they had to slow down this passing attack. They knew they had some matchups they were going to have to win one-on-one. They've been able to do that, and as a result, they haven't allowed 200 passing yards in this game.
They come to the line facing 3rd and long from the 25. The receivers often will run their route based on a side adjustment. Third and long, and he'll try to throw for it. Oh, man, another incompletion. That's 3 in a row.
It's a nice adjustment by the defense here. With a big lead in the game, you're putting extra DBs on the field, knowing the offense has to throw to get back in this one in the 4th quarter. So your best cover guys on the field, and they force an incompletion on the last one.
Coach has no choice here. The offense has to stay on the field, down multiple possessions this late. 4th down attempt coming. Got the 1st down and more. Open runway ahead. And he froze that defender. He thought he was going to pitch. And turned it into a big play. That's a good spot on the field to go for it. Really, everything to gain and not much to lose.
Yeah, and most coaches discuss or know pregame warm-ups how far their kickers can kick it. Do I have a boot to even consider this? But I think you want to stay aggressive regardless and go try to get extra points.
Inside the 25. They'll get him stopped just short of the end zone, but they're in business here with a 1st down. Alabama quickly back to the line. They'll keep it on the ground for 1st and goal. And they get nothing. The ball remains at the 2-yard line. And the D deny them on 2nd and goal. Into the house. Touchdown, Crimson Tide.
Yeah, and this offense needs a spark, man. Down big. Listen, it's game 1. It's not the end of the world, but we got a deficit. Got to put some drives together. Nice drive here. Now the defense needs to do their part because they got to put this thing in turbo.
Here comes the 2-point try. He's got it in the end zone for the 2 as they draw a little closer.
Gotta love the execution. Not easy to throw down here, but the quarterback made a good read, accurate throw, and they come away with 2 points.
They're down big, but they'll keep fighting to the bitter end and line up for the onside kick here. They'd hoped to get that thing bouncing around, but the hands team is able to corral it. Here comes the Texas offense. Defense dropping into soft coverage. Trying to start the drive with a pass. Unloads to the wideout. All kinds of room to throw that one in there. Defense needs to regroup as he gets it down to the 26. Looking to push the pace with the no huddle. Defense going to jam these receivers right off the line. They'll throw it on 1st down. Pressure coming. And he will wisely throw it to the kid playing the tuba.
I'm a little bit surprised they're still throwing the football here this late in the game with this kind of lead. They're on 1st down, taking a shot, falls incomplete, but obviously they're still seeing matchups that they want to take advantage of in the back end of this defense, so they're letting it fly.
After the misfire, now on 2nd down. looking to throw. Coming after it. Time running out, and he goes down at the 34. The Longhorns want to pick up the tempo. Motion from the offense. On 3rd and long, you'll need to push it downfield. And the pressure is coming in, and they get him again. It's 4th down now, and this likely the final snap before the 2-minute warning. Defense trying to keep this offense from getting a line on who to block. We've reached the 2-minute warning, and this offense is that much closer to salting away a victory. They already have a comfortable lead up by multiple possessions, but they're going to go for it here on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the 1st down. And they get to him and sack the quarterback, and they'll stop the drive on down.
It is what it is. There's no pressure. This game's over. You're up by a ton of points. They're not going to come back here in the 4th quarter, so you're just trying to put on more stats. Listen, stats count. Like, we all count our stats at the end of the season. We look up, we got 1,000 yards receiving. Like, all these plays still matter.
Here comes that Alabama offense. The deficit is large, hope is fainting, but they'll try to finish strong.
Made a lot of mistakes in this game, and that's why it looks like they're going to take the L. Lots of things to improve on, lots of things to coach upon, and at this point, I think if you're a head coach, David, you're just trying to see which of your guys aren't quitting late in the game.
Yeah, which is a real thing, by the way. Who's going to compete to the final whistle? What do we talk about all the time? Coaches are always preaching to these guys. Don't worry about the scoreboard. Just compete as hard as you can. So, good opportunity to try to finish this game with something positive.
And the incompletion brings up a 2nd down. Looking for a physical attack from the gun.
And these defensive tackles just eat people. They swallow human beings when you get near them. They're so big, so strong. When those guys, those running backs come in, they just need a mitt. They put one mitt on a running back, and he usually falls to the ground just because of their sheer mass and strength.
Looking to throw, it's Casey. Pulls it in. And they finally haul him down, but not before the good catch and run.
Nice job by the QB. It's 3rd down. It's money down. I'm looking to throw the ball down the field. What's open? My running back. Find him, hit him, let him do the rest. Good job.
Getting some heat. Trying to make magic with his feet.
I think he did a really good job, first of all, keeping his eyes down. You could see he wanted to throw the football. But when it's not there, don't force it. Tuck it down. Get some positive yards.
He wants to pass it on 2nd down. Got the back over the middle. And the defense had that one well covered, just a short game there.
And defensively, this is exactly what you want, right? You've got the big lead, so you can play big zone coverages. Just keep the ball in front of you. Keep your eye on the quarterback. Rally to the football. Gang tackle. You're going to win this game.
Tackle is made, but not until he gets the 1st down.
That is how it's done on 3rd down and short. No doubt about it. An easy hole to get through and clearly get the 1st down.
If you really want to simplify football, the low man wins. That time, the offense got the better of the D. Easily picked that up.
Now the toss. Got enough space. Touchdown time. And they add 6 more to the board with that trip to the house.
And a nice touchdown. Continuing to fight, continuing to play. This one, it's pretty much over. Down multiple possessions this late in the football game. It would take a miracle, but nice job by this offense continuing to fight, push the ball down the field, make plays.
Here comes the option. He'll toss it. He gets it in there for the 2, and now they've chopped that lead down to 11. They made sure that good field position paid off, going 45 yards. They're definitely up against it. Time running out, down 2 possessions. They'll try the onside kick. Gets it back. A fortunate turn of events.
and this is why you put your hands team on the field most of the time. When you know it's coming and you put those guys that are great catchers of the football. The first guys, what do? They go block. They go blow somebody up. The next guys catch the football, secure it, get your butt on the ground. And most of the time when you do this, the ball game is over.
They'll run the option. He'll pitch it. Finally run out of bounds, but he has this offense rolling with a first down.
This guy's been special today. Coming into this one, they thought they had an opportunity really to get him going, running the football, and he has delivered. You've seen the speed, the vision, his ability to break tackles. Well over 100 rushing yards in this game, and that's why they have a nice lead here late.
The offense wastes no time getting the timeout call. Ordinarily on 2nd and 10, you might look past, but here you just want to keep that clock moving. Wide out in motion. Quick touch pass to the receiver. The defense wouldn't let him loose there, and it was a completion, but they lost yardage. Quick timeout call by the defense, stopping the clock to save as much time as possible for their offense. Decibels rising as the crowd gets behind this defense on 3rd down. Quarterback will keep it. And sure, tackling there to keep him from getting to the first down marker. Defense gets the timeout call. 20 seconds left on the clock. They already have a comfortable lead, up by multiple possessions, but they're going to go for it here on 4th down. Can't find his man. It'll be incomplete, and that is a heartbreaker this late in the game.
And aggressive play calls. Everybody wants you to be aggressive. They're aggressive. They take their shot. Now they got to live with a little bit of the consequences. They turn the football over on downs. Now their defense has to go out on the field and make some stops.
He'll start this drive firing. Blasted as he lets it go. Hit hard as he released the ball on that first down pass, and it never had a chance.
And unfortunately, this guy's been beat like a drum. He's been hit, sacked a bunch of times already, and another hit right here. I'm literally looking at my offensive line and be like, dude, I need some more time. You got to protect me better than this. Give me a chance to complete some passes.
2nd down coming up. Looking downfield, it's Casey. And he was hit just as he was releasing the pass, and it falls to the ground incomplete.
And the quarterback gets hit again. We already know this defense has gotten home to him multiple times in this game. So here you are, you're trailing in the game. Defense knows you're going to throw it. They're pinning their ears back. You can't feel very confident right now if you're the play caller, and certainly if you're the quarterback, that you're going to have time to throw.
Now on the option. Now the pitch. And he's not going to make it. The defense denying him the first down. They'll get the timeout with 5 seconds remaining to play. One more play to pad the stats. The give on 4th down. He is stopped short, and they'll turn it over on downs. Just a crushing blow at this point in the game. First down here for the offense. These corners going to give these receivers some space. Comes out throwing on first down. Deep shot for the end zone. And it's caught. Touchdown, Longhorns!
Man, you knew this one was over already, but how about an exclamation point to go with it? Another score for this offense. They've had themselves a great day, and the stats just continue to pile up.
Well, this was an offensive showcase out there today. We thought it would be a high-scoring game, and it certainly delivered.
If you love offense, then you love this type of game. Both offenses going up and